Sorry, you can say hello, Shalom Aleichem.
I don't do that. I always ask everybody else in front of the person.
Sorry, you grew up in Farak. You can say Shalom Aleichem to another Yid. You know what I mean? You don't have to be such a
Aleichem Shalom.
Who are you?
Aleichem Shalom. Who the heck are you?
I'm a Yid. That's who I am.
Love it.
I'm a Yid with the big Gemara. With my chas and shas. That's who I am.
Oh, Yuri Hertzberg joined it also. Look at this. Oh, look at you.
By the way, I also had to dust off mine.
Wow, Yuri Hertzberg?
Marchak, I tell you, we're getting very popular here. Oh, he left. Okay.
That's it. He's gone.
I completely do not feel like an old timer anymore. When a Hertzberg comes online, you know what I'm saying? I got all these Kaplans and Steins around. Come on.
Sure. Where's your white shirt?
Oh, it's Sunday. You know what I'm saying?
He cashed it today.
So there's no pants. So there's no pants.
I got no pants on today.
I love it.
Yeah. All right.
Very good.
Okay, ready?
Yeah, I didn't make sure all the garbage is done yet. I'm going to do it after the show.
Okay, so let's chazir quickly from yesterday. What did we do? Amud Bey. Okay, so yesterday we said, the three opinions of the same. Well, we started with the Chanukah, right? The Chanukah. So three opinions if the same halachas of Shabbos apply to Chanukah, meaning that you have to have the right wicks, same wicks, and the same, meaning the same problems that you have with wicks on Shabbos, which you have on Chanukah too. Right, and then we said on Amud Beis, if the candles go out, that you don't need to relight them. Then we had Mahadrin and Mahadrin Mina Mahadrin. Then the Machlokes B'Sham Yisrael, which way you count, which way you do the menorah, right? 8, 7, 6, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then where to place the menorah, meaning when it's a sakana, you go up, you light on your table. Then we said the story of Chanukah, and then the height of the menorah, how high it has to be. And then on Chaf Beis, we brought that Gemara parenthetically about the pit of Yosef had snakes and scorpions. The menorah goes on the left side of the door. Then we said you can't be nana from the light of the menorah. You can't count your money to the light of the menorah. Then treating the blood of shechita with respect. That's why you shouldn't kick the dirt on top of it. And then being nana from sukkah decorations, making a tanai. And then we had 3 machlokes in between Rav and Shmuel, and we paskin like Shmuel. Can the menorah be lit from one candle to another? That's the sugya that was a shtickle, a long sugya. And the nace of the daily lighting of the menorah, right? That they always lit from the westernmost light with the same amount of oil, but it lit for a lot longer. And then is the lighting is the mitzvah or placing of the menorah the mitzvah, right? That's what we had just started. Okay, so we start on Chaf Beis Amud Beis about Amar Rav Huna Breder of Yeshua, right? It's about 12 lines up. So we said my Havi Allah, right? What's the din? The bottom line is what's the din? Can you light from candle to candle or not? So Amar Rav Huna Breder of Yeshua, Chazina, yeah, everybody has it? Okay, Chazina, we say Ihadlaka is a mitzvah madlika mener lener. If the hadlaka is what makes the mitzvah, then you can light from ner to ner. Why? Because when you take from one ner and you put it to another ner, that's straight from one mitzvah to another mitzvah. So there's no bizayin of a mitzvah going on. V'hanocha is a mitzvah, but if you say that the placing of the menorah is what makes the mitzvah and the lighting is not the mitzvah, so then when you light from one candle to another candle, there's no mitzvah there yet. The mitzvah is not until you place down the candle in the proper place, in which case you're being mavaza a mitzvah by doing something that's not a mitzvah.
Isn't that a little the opposite of what you think?
Why?
Well, if the hanacha is also a mitzvah, then whatever you did before is not a bizayin. That's not the mitzvah in and of itself, anyways.
No, so then you're using something in the middle that's not a mitzvah.
I understand, but you're not doing it. But the intermediary is not doing the mitzvah anyways. It's all preparation to do the hanacha. Who cares what you did?
So that's right. So that's why it would not be good.
That's not what the Gemara says. The Gemara says if the mitzvah is the hanacha, then you can't. The intermediary is a problem. Why?
Correct. Right. Because the lighting is not the mitzvah. So if that's the case, when you light one candle from the other candle, You're not doing any mitzvah yet. You're not doing the mitzvah until the menorah is placed in its proper place. So that middle
What's the
stage
bizayon?
of getting the menorah lit is not a mitzvah.
So there's no bizayon. You're not doing a mitzvah anyways. What's the bizayon? I'm not.
No, but
understanding.
you're doing a bizayon to the candle that's already lit because that's a mitzvah.
That's not a mitzvah. The hanacha is the mitzvah.
No. But let's say you had a candle already lit in the proper place, and now you want to take from that candle and light another menorah. Or if it's the second night and you already lit one night, so now you're yaitza, now you want to light from that candle to another candle. So the hanacha is the mitzvah. Then that actual lighting is not the mitzvah. So you're being mavaza the mitzvah.
That'll be true even if you hold hadlaka is a mitzvah.
No, if hadlaka is the mitzvah, then right when you light it, you did the mitzvah. So memela, you went straight from one mitzvah to another mitzvah without any intermediary whatsoever. No?
I don't know. I'm not sure. It sounds a little confusing.
Okay, let's see. It might get clearer with the Gemara Vayta. Let's see. If not, then we'll fight it out afterwards. Yeah.
If hadlaka is a mitzvah and you're done right after hadlaka, what's waiting the zman and stuff? Where does that come in?
What's who?
The zman.
Naftali, we
30
did this during
minutes.
Chanukah. We said that technically you don't have to wait.
No, that's and a chanami. You're right. If as long as it's lit by the proper zman, you don't have to put it out. Right. That's what we said yesterday. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So the zmanim is only hanacha is a mitzvah?
No, even for hadlaka it's a mitzvah. You just have to have the menorah lit at the proper time. But that's it. Once it's lit, you're not required to put it out anymore. Not required to relight it. Let's see, maybe to get a little clear with the Gemara's shilas. The Ibailu, because they had a shilah. Hadlaka is a mitzvah, hanacha is a mitzvah. Does the lighting of the menorah make the mitzvah, or does the placing of the menorah make the mitzvah? Tashma. So the Gemara goes through a couple of proofs. Let's say you were holding on to a chanukiyah, right, as we call it. You were holding on to a menorah, and you're standing in a place, and then you light the menorah. So you did like the Statue of Liberty, right? You lit up a menorah. So you yaitza like that, you didn't do anything. Shmamina hanacha is a mitzvah. So it must be that the hanacha is a mitzvah, right? The placing of the menorah is the mitzvah. And just because you lit it and you're holding it doesn't mean that you yaitza the mitzvah, right? Clearly, you're not yaitza the mitzvah just by lighting it. You have to actually put it down. And since you didn't put it down, so you're not yaitza the mitzvah. So clearly, the Gemara is saying it must be that the hanacha makes the mitzvah. So we say no. Somebody who's watching this guy standing there with a menorah is not going to think that he's lighting a menorah for Chanukah. He's going to think that the guy's standing there with the equivalent of a flashlight. So he's going to think that the guy needs a flashlight. So therefore, it doesn't look like you're lighting the menorah. So therefore, you're not yotze. Right? So there's no proof. Tashma, another proof. If you light it inside and then you bring it outside, right? Like we said yesterday. So it's like windy outside. So you want to light your menorah outside. So what do? You light it inside, put it into a glass box, bring it outside. Right? So you did nothing. So if you say that the hadlaka made the mitzvah, right? So hadlaka needs to be done in the proper place. Therefore, you didn't do anything. But if you say the hanacha is the mitzvah, why didn't you do anything? Right? You did it. Your hanacha is the mitzvah. As long as you place the menorah down when it was lit in the proper place, then you're okay. So why shouldn't it be yaitza? So it must be the Gemara is now proving the other way, that it must be hadlaka is what makes the mitzvah. And since you lit it inside, which is not the proper place to light it, even though you put it down in the proper place, but since the hadlaka is what makes the mitzvah, so therefore you are not. Therefore you're not yaitza. So the Gemara says it gives the same answer. If somebody watches you do this, light it inside and then bring it outside, he's going to think that you didn't light the menorah for Chanukah's sake, you lit it for your own sake, so therefore that's why you're not yotze. So we have no proof either way if hadlaka makes the mitzvah or hanacha makes the mitzvah. Tashma Adam Rabbi Shimon Levi. So let's say you had a shashes literally means a glass, right? So it's a lantern. Rashi brings in Laz lantern up, right? A lantern. So if you have a lantern that was lit the whole day, so the Lamotze Shabbos, what are you going to do? If you want to use that lantern for your menorah, so what do? So Lamotze Shabbos mechaber, you have to extinguish it, umadlika, and then you light it, and then you're going to be yotze. So now, if you say that the lighting makes the mitzvah shabbos, and that makes a lot of sense. That's why you have to put it out and relight it. What if you say that placing the menorah is the mitzvah? This that it says you should put it out and light it. No, you should be mechaber. You should have to put it out, umagbiya, and lift it up, umanicha, and then put it down, and then madlika. right? Again, right? The Gemara just says all you have to do is put it out and relight it. The Gemara is saying if hanacha is a mitzvah, then you should have to put it out, pick it up, right? Put it down in a place because the hanacha is a mitzvah. You want to be doing a new mitzvah, and this thing was lit a whole Shabbos. So there's nothing recognizable that you did it for Chanukah. So you should have to put it out, pick it up, place it back down, and then light it. Right?
We're so concerned, Tzviakov, we're so concerned about every other mitzvah we do that has intent, right? Like you have to have a kavanah, you have to have a certain thing. We know what our intent is when we're doing halakas neris by Hanukkah. So what difference does this make about who's watching us?
That's an excellent question.
Why do we care? Wouldn't
it be focused on Pursuim Nisa? The whole mitzvah is about Pursuim Nisa.
Right.
Right. So if I live in the woods and I'm single, I'm not Yotze Chanukah because there's no Pursuim Nisa.
No, Rabbi, I know what he's going to say because we've had this discussion many times. But
okay, fine.
For some reason, what do you want to say?
Yeah, that they're worried about the misyafnim all the time.
Yes, right. For some reason, by Chanukah, right?
That are not really doing the mitzvah.
Right. Well, for some reason, by Chanukah, they were very worried about Marasayin that it looks like you're not lighting the menorah legit. We're going to see on the bottom of the Amud, if you have a big house, you got to light 2 menorahs, and et cetera, et cetera. For some reason, by Chanukah, they were very concerned that it looks like you're not lighting the menorah properly or not lishma or whatever it is. But by Chanukah, I think probably has to do with the Pursuim Nisa aspect of it.
Is this over the years I developed the from OCD thing, as you used to make fun of me about. Is this what this is?
I don't remember making fun of you about that. Maybe about other things. I don't know about that, but all right.
No, but we could all start, if you'd like, Simon, we could all start making fun of you about that. That's not a problem.
I'm the OCD guy of the group.
You got to get on the couch, Simon.
What?
You got to lay on the couch if you want to talk like this.
Oh,
my wife does hours even over Zoom now, Simon. If you need hours from her.
I just we're so concerned about what everyone else does, but in the same respect, we're supposed to only worry about Hashem. We're only supposed to have intent for the mitzvah. This is it sounds insane.
Yeah, you don't have to do B'dikas Chametz this year.
Just burn it down.
Yeah, anyways. Okay, no, it's a good point.
Tzviakov, don't we say nowadays that Pursuim Nisa's Iker is for your own base anyways?
Yes. But that's
so nowadays would these halachos adjust? Meaning all these halachos that say you have to put it outside. At the end of the day, all that is not negay nowadays. The intent could be inside now.
Fair enough. That's also a good point. That's a good point. But Lamaisa, we're gonna try and how do you call it? Model it after the way it should have been done in the old days.
Yeah, but that's by you guys. It's all
right, but that's not the exclusion of it. My point is that to the exclusion of doing it inside? Meaning, if we could do it nowadays inside because there is Pursuim Nisa inside as well, then why should that not be enough? Then also, it's not like the only way to do Pursuim Nisa is outside.
You're right. No, that's true. You're right. You're right. You're right. I hear, but I think we just try and keep it the way it always was, at least lechatchila. Right. Anyway, so let's just get to the Gemara's raya.
Because we follow a Messiah, that's so we leave it that way.
Yeah,
but that's not true nowadays. Our Messiah is not that way nowadays. Our Messiah looks at it from the perspective of its inside.
I know, but that's only because we had to adjust because of, fortunately, the gullus, which we're feeling very much right now.
Fair, right? But that's l'chatchila. It's not a b'diavad.
No, that's true. That's true. But anyways, so I just want to make sure we get the raya here. So the Gemara again is saying that if you have this lantern lit a whole Shabbos, so Motzei Shabbos, you got to put it out and relight it. The Gemara is saying, well, it must be a raya that it's hadlaka is a mitzvah, because it was hanacha is a mitzvah, meaning you have to place the menorah down. So then you should have to put it out, pick it up, place it down, and then light it. And the Gemara doesn't say that. So
you have to do that for
the Gemara was worried about was hadlaka. What?
You have to do that for Ner Abdullah also?
No, just because of Chanukah's, because we need to make it very recognizable that you're lighting these candles for Chanukah. Right? So that's what the Gemara is saying. Now, Tosfos asks a simple kasha. Right? Why don't you just say, why do you have to put it out? If you're doing Hanocha as a mitzvah, just pick up the lantern. Why do you have to put it out? Pick up the lantern with it lit, move it over a foot, Put it back down. Now you showed that it's that you put it down, the covered the Chanukah, right? Okay, whatever it is, that's Taisus Kasha. But either way, so the Gemara brings the right that Hadlaka is a mitzvah. Oh, back in the Gemara, right, 6 lines down. And then this one's a very strong raya. So we make the bracha that Hashem that commanded us to light the ner Chanukah. So you see that the hadlaka doesn't say lahaniach ner Chanukah. It says lahadlik ner Chanukah. So we hear from this that must be hadlaka is a mitzvah. So now that we said the hadlaka makes the mitzvah, so therefore, since the hadlaka is what's making the mitzvah, so if a cheresh, a shoyt, or a kohen light the menorah, it's nothing, right? Meaning, if it was hanocha, it's a mitzvah. So who cares who lit the menorah? The menorah is in the window or outside, as long as it's lit at the time that it's supposed to. We don't care who lit it. But now that we're saying that it's the maisa of the hadlaka, so then therefore it can't be lit by a cheresh, shoyt, or a kohen. What about a woman? Isha vadem adlika, but an isha for sure can light it. Damar Rabbi Shua ben Levi, nashim chayavos min Chanukah. Women are also chayav in Chanukah, even though it's a time-related mitzvah, and that's because afein hayabayis and Rashi says either because they had to be boiled to the hegma and tchila, or because of the ma'isa with what was the name Yehudis, right? Fine. Now, just the interesting Taisus, the second Taisus says Shema Mino Hadlaka is a mitzvah. Bim Kain, he says, Mutter, since Hadlaka is a mitzvah, so now can you light one candle from the other candle? You should be able to, right? Bim Kain, Mutter lahadlik, min ner lener. You can light, you should be able to light from one candle to the other candle. Since the minig of the Welt was to be machmer and not to light one candle from another candle, therefore don't change the minig and don't light from one candle to the other candle, even though you should be able to light from one candle to the other candle. Okay? Fine. Amar Rav Sheishes, Achsanoi, a guest, Chayiv.
Interrupt a second.
Sure.
I had this machshava this morning that with the Yehudis, which he saved all the psulas from this chaya, from this helipornis, right?
Right.
So that's where the nace came, that they weren't together with a goy. And Farkert by Purim, that Esther saved Klal Yisrael by being with a
sheikh.
With
the guy. Very good.
The exact opposite.
That's very good. That's very good.
Hit me this morning by that line.
That's very. I hope you wrote that down.
I wrote it down. Yeah, I wrote it down.
Or maybe your notebook's in yeshiva or something. It's quarantine, but good. No, that's a good. Very good. I like that.
Except the Gemara has to apply the idea of karka oil meat to both sugars. So
both
sugars have to. You have to say that.
And chanami, that's just the way to get around the issa.
Right. That was for everyone else, but Yehudis and Esther both had the same halacha issue.
Yeah. Very good. Okay, bye. Amar Rav Sheis Achsanoi chayiv b'ner Chanukah. A guest is chayiv in ner Chanukah. Amar Rav Zera mireish ki havina beirav. When the beginning, when I used to go to Rav to learn, I would give some prutas to the person that I was staying by. After I got married, after I married a woman, I said, now I don't have to give any money to the guy who I'm staying by, because she's going to be lighting for me in my house, since we just said that women are chayiv and menorah. So as long as the person is lighting in the house, therefore, I'm going to be yotze. So we learn out a lot of major halachas here, which is that a person, it's really a din in the house. As long as the house, the menorah is lit, then everything else is good to go, which, according to this, is really, there's no reason for a guy to come home from work early or whatever. His wife lights him and finished, even though many don't do that. But really, that's the woman has the same chiyuv as the man, and she could light, and then he's yotze. Another thing is with the ushpiza, so everybody knows this din, that when you go away for Shabbos, so you give prutas and all that. It's not so simple that you have to. This case is talking about where he's just staying by some. It could be, not everybody agrees to this, but it could be that here is talking about where he's just staying by somebody. He didn't really live there. He just slept there, right? So therefore, he's not really part of his b'nei bayis. But if I go away to family for Shabbos and I'm eating and sleeping and everything, it could be I don't even have to give the pruta. It could be that becomes my bayis for Chanukah, and then I'm considered part of the bias, and really I don't need to light a menorah at all. But that's a different. There are those that say that. Okay, Amr B'Shum Alevi. Kol Hashmana Kulam Yafen L'Ner B'Shem Zayis Min HaMufcher. This I found this Gemara to be very interesting. So he says all oil is mutter and Shemen Zayis is Min HaMufcher. Right? Why is Shemen Zayis Min HaMufcher? Right? Doesn't say. Just says it's Min HaMufcher. And let's see what the Gemara writes. Amar Abai Mereish Hava Mahadam Mar HaMishcha de Shumshimin. In the beginning, I would go after oil from Shumshimin. That's what do you call that? Shumshimin is sesame, yeah? Amar Hai Moshach Nura Tfei. And because I said that it draws the oil very, very well, so it lights well. Since I heard that Rabbi Shua ben Levi would look for olive oil, Amar Hai Tzlalu Nura Tfei. So I say that this olive oil gives a better light, right? Nowhere here is there anything about that the reason to use olive oil is because there was olive oil in the Beis Hamikdash, right? As far as the simple reading of the Gemara, simple reading of the Gemara seems to be that the reason to go with olive oil is because it draws to the wick better and it lights better. That's the only reason, right? Okay. I thought it was
because it was more. I thought it was because it was more pure or something like that.
Well, that's what it's saying. It's pure because it draws. But it doesn't. It's not because they lit. At least the Gemara here is not saying that because they lit it with Shemen Zayis in the Beis Hamikdash. It's because it lights better. So many say that our wax candles they light very, very nicely.
Yeah, but we learned in the beginning of the entire Chanukah sugya that everything was based off of the Beis Hamikdash. No,
right? No, that's true. But Lamaisa, you would think, why not use? It should say use olive oil because that's the way the mitzvah happened, right? It doesn't say that. You're right, but I think that. No, I think you're right, Simon. That's why we try and go with olive oil. But the bottom line is, true, this Friday night also I'm supposed to use olive oil because it lights better. It's a cleaner lighting. But if you find some other alternative that would be better than olive, so then you should go with that. Fine. All oil is good for diyai, is for the ink that you're going to write for Sefer Torah and Tefillin and mezuzahs. But Shemen Zayis is the most choice. Doesn't mean to grind it up, to not grind it, to knead it, K-N-E-D, right? Or does it mean to smoke it up? Are you using it for smoke? We'll see what that means. All oil is good for diyai, for ink. And olive oil is the most choice. Whether you mix it in or whether you use the smoke of the olive oil. All smoke is nice for diyai, but olive oil smoke is the best. All sraf is it's like a putty type thing, sort of like plastic. Is good for diyai. Sraf kotaf yafim mikulam, and sraf kotaf is I don't know how they touch it. Art Scroll is better.
Art Scroll touches it blackthorn gum.
Oh, that's exactly what I would have thought it was.
I'm sure.
Thank you. Right, the sraf kotaf yafim mikulam, that's the best. So basically what the smoke is that they took a glass, they would light candles in there, it would make this thick, that black smoke, and then they would peel the smoke off the glass, and they would use that for diyai. That's what Rashi says.
I always thought generally speaking, sraf is like a sap.
Yeah, it's something like a
Sorry, it's a sraf hanoitif matzeh top.
It's a sap from a tree.
Like
yeah,
sap
but
of a tree.
Yes, that's what do you say? Taisa says it? Does Taisa say it?
Yeah, I think so.
But a guma, right? So what a Taisa is choyluk, and Rashi says it's like a guma. It's like a rubbery substance, right?
Right, that's what Art Scroll says.
Yeah, because they're going with Rashi. But Taisa says different shot. Yeah, fine. If you light the menorah, you got to make a bracha. Somebody who sees the ner shel Chanukah needs to make a bracha. On the first day, the one who sees the menorah makes 2 brachos, and the one who lights it makes 3 brachos. After the first night, the madlik makes 2, and the one watching makes makes one. Meaning the one that sees it makes one. Which bracha do you make? Which bracha do you exclude after the first night? Zman. You exclude Zman. V'nimah nes. Why don't you just not say the nes because you already made the bracha on nes? Nes kol yami. You say the nes was every day there was a nes, so therefore you make it every day. My mevarich. What's the bracha? Mevarich Hashem Kishanim Mitzvos V'tzivanu L'Adin Yeshal Chanukah. Right? Okay, so let's just stop there a second. So basically, there's something called Birchas Haroya, which is another interesting thing. Let's say somebody is not near a menorah, he's not going to be lighting a menorah that night. So you make 2 brachas the first night, you make Shechiyonu, and then when you see the menorah, you make Shasanisam Lavisenu. Right? Now, somebody who's taka traveling, and his wife's lighting for him, like we said in the Gemara before. His wife's lighting for him at home, and he sees a menorah. Should he make the bracha? Pasha says he should not make the bracha. He was yoytz in the mitzvah properly.
His own menorah or some other menorah in the street?
No, let's say he's traveling, he's in quarantine or whatever, right? So he can't come home. His wife lights the menorah for him, right? But then he looks out the window and he sees somebody's menorah lit. Should he make shas nisim or not? So the person say he should not. He can't because his bracha, his wife's bracha shas nisim covered him, right? So basically, the eitz is if he wants to make the bracha, it's just either he should say it before his wife, meaning he should see a menorah before his wife lights menorah, or his wife shouldn't have him in mind, then he could make it. Okay, well, it's a whole sugi, but that's something to keep in mind. When the Gemara here is saying that he has to make the Brachos Haroya, that's for sure in a situation where he doesn't have a wife, or his wife's not lighting for him, and then he for sure has to make Brachos Haroya. But if there's somebody lighting for him at home, then it's not as simple to do that. Fine. Now this next line is very, very important lines b'chlal to understand how you make a mitzvah on a derabanan, right? Basically, what the Gemara is bothered by is how do you make a bracha on a derabanan, which Chanukah is a derabanan. How do you say a bracha sher kedushanim mitzvos? Right? You commanded us. Hashem didn't command us anything. It was derabanan, right? Vehechen tzivanu, right? The last of the thin lines. Where were we commanded? Rav Avi Amar miloi sasur. We were commanded on loy sasur, which means do not turn away from what the Rabbanim say. So the Rabbanim say to light a menorah, so therefore you mechuyev to light a menorah. So that's where we were commanded to listen. Ask the father and he'll tell you, and the elderly and they'll tell you. Right? So those are the 2 sources that we know, Taka, that we make Asher Kedushanu on the Rabbanans.
There's an obvious question. There are a lot of mitzvahs derabanan that we don't say it for.
Like what?
Aren't there?
What do you mean, like positive mitzvah derabanans?
Yeah, no?
But nothing. I don't think there's a difference between those and the rice and the rabbanon. There are many positive mitzvahs we don't make brachos on, but the reason why we don't make brachos has nothing to do with the rabbanon or the rice.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Maybe you can come up with it. I'm not sure off the top of my head. I don't know. But the Gemara is going to ask some questions here. All right. Anyways, we could tie this into the matzav now. My loy sasa, right? If the rabbanim tell you don't make minyanim, don't be wise and make minyanim anyways. You know what I mean? Maser Rav Amram, had to throw that in there. Maser Rav Amram. Or the problem with more is if the Rabbanan are saying, based on the doctors, no going to anybody for Pesach, so then don't go for Pesach. You know what I mean? That's what they're telling you to do. So it's a mitzvah. It's mitzvah d'oraisa based on what the Rabbanan say. Okay, I don't know what we're going to get. Okay, whatever. Yeah, Maser Rav Amram. Rav Amram asked the kasha, yeah? Hatamai. So Damai, if you remember, we had this a bunch of times. Damai stands for Damai, which is Chumas and Maisras, not Chumas. Maisras, meaning fruits and vegetables that come from around our earth, and we're chashad that they don't separate Maisa. So Ma'arvin Boy, you can use it to make an Erev with it, or Mishtatvin Boy, you can use it to combine voice, which Bez Hashem and Erev, and we'll get to what the difference is between that. But basically, you can use it, meaning when you have to combine bread together in order to make an Erev. So you're allowed to use the Mai, and you can make a bracha on it, and you can make a mazuman with it, meaning you make birchas hamaitzi on it, and you can make a mazuman with it, and you can separate, right? When you're separating the maestros, you can do it when you're undressed, when you're naked, and it could be bein hashmashos of Shabbos also, right? Because again, it's derabanan. We don't know whether this stuff was separated. The Mai is basically midaraisa. The Torah had no problem with an Amor, it's separating, but the Rabbanan had an issue, so they said you got to retake off Maisa. whatever it is, so you're allowed to make the bracha undressed. The Amr called derabanan by bracha, right? And if you said anything midrabanan needs a bracha, he's standing undressed. How can you make a bracha? So must be. Gemara is saying must be wasn't making the bracha. You need that. You should be holy when you're making a bracha. And you don't have that. So Rabbi Avada did the Vrayim by bracha.
Yaakov, you can do a Maisa mitzvah naked, but your problem is making the bracha?
That's what it's, yeah. That's what it sounds like. Yes.
That's like amazing. So you can stand there naked in your sukkah, benching lulav, but your problem is making the bracha naked. Okay.
Yeah, no, and chachamim. Yes. I'm not saying you're going to get the Tzaddik of the Year award if you do that.
Okay, but...
Right. No, I'm asking. Yeah, 100%.
Okay,
yeah,
thanks.
I don't say you see any way around that from here?
No,
You go to
no.
the mitzvah, you don't wear your bathing suit, do you?
Well, you don't make it when you have a bris either, Israel.
That's on my point.
1 second.
There are other mitzvahs also, but I'm not going to.
1 second. Rabbi Aaron Horowitz goes to the mikveh in the beach, so it could be he does wear the bathing suit, at least in the beginning.
I hear. It's basically about mentioning Hashem's name. You're not allowed to do when you're undressed, to do a mitzvah, yeah. So Rabbi is matar, it's vadai did the rain by bracha. Safek did the rain by bracha. If it's a vadai mitzvah, then it needs a bracha. Safek, which demai is a safek, because we assume that the chacham were chashad that they don't take off ma'aser, so therefore they made you do it again. A safek did the rain by bracha doesn't need a bracha, therefore you can do it undressed. Oh, about Yom Tov Sheni, the safek did rain who by bracha. Everybody knows, right? We make kiddush Yom Tov Sheni, and we make kiddush just like Yom Tov. What?
Why is that a suffix?
What? Yom Tov
Yom
Sheni?
Tov Sheni.
It's a suffix. What do I mean? That's where Yom Tov Sheni came from.
It's a mitzvah derabanan. It's not a suffix derabanan.
No, sure it is. The Yom Tov Sheni came because we weren't sure which day it was.
Right. So therefore, derabanan we're mechayiv you, but it's not because especially nowadays it's not a suffix.
Oh, so no. Nowadays, Kriya de Yarcha and chachamim. This is back then when they didn't know whether it was Yom Tov or not. So the Rabbanan made you keep a second day. Right? The Rabbanan are the one that
You're
said
saying this Chanukah Shabbos before we had a
I'm assuming it's before the yes. That's what I'm assuming.
Yeah, but isn't that a suffix deraisa? Meaning it's a suffix on a deraisa day.
It is. So is the Mai. No?
But it's a suffix on a deraisa. It's not a suffix on a derabanan like we said before.
Good. So if it's a suffix deraisa, if it's a suffix deraisa, no. So don't do malacha. But who says they have to be makadosh?
Why does the Gemara say it's a suffix devrehem?
Because the Rabbanan are the ones that said you got to make kiddush misafik. If you're talking about suffix like a suffix is a deraisa.
It's a vadai devrehem. It's a vadai that they like.
Right, but their vadai was based on a suffix.
So this vadai is based on it's a vadai day of Yom Tov because of a suffix.
Right.
So why is it any different than vadai devrehem by bracha?
No, because this whole thing is that the Rabbanan said you got to make kiddush because you're mesupik, right?
Right, but they made a day of the Rabbanan Dika Yom Tov because of a suffix. They're not mesupik whether you should have that day or not. They think you should have that day because of a suffix.
Right. So, but it's a lamaisa. The suffix is it's the chiyuv is the Rabbanan Dika chiyuv. But it comes from a suffix, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So no. So what Yisrael is saying is that Bismana says it's no suffix. That's why if you're an American in Eretz Yisrael, you got to keep 2 days because if it was al tzveika straight suffix, you wouldn't have it because there's no suffix anymore. But it's only because minig ba'alma, so it became a minig, so we got to keep 2 days. Right. So again, Vayom Tov Sheni the suffix Devrayim Hu B'Ay Bracha. So Gemara answers Hasam Ki Yechid Dalel Zazli B'Ay. If they're going to make you make kiddush or drink wine without making kiddush, nobody's going to keep second day Yom Tov, right? It's going to be a disaster. So therefore, they needed to make you have the regular kiddush just like first day Yom Tov. No, Rava says a different shot. Roiv Amaratzim do take off meiser. So Memela, it's just a chashash ba'alma, right? It's not really a suffix like Rashi says. It's a chumra ba'alma. So therefore, on a chumra ba'alma, you're not going to make a bracha. Okay. Amar Rav Huna chotzer sheyesha. Now we get back, Simon, to this whole chashash gemaras here. Amar Rav Huna chotzer sheyesha based psachim. if you have a yard that has 2 doorways, you need to have 2 candles, meaning you have to have 2 menorahs, 1 by each doorway. Rava, Amar Rava, or Amar Rava, Layamar, and Ella Mishtei Ruchas. But this is only if you have 2 doors and 2 different sides, not sides of the streets, meaning 2 different directions. Meaning you have a doorway on the north side, and you have a doorway on the west side, let's say. When you have 2 entrances, both on the north side of the street, then you don't need. My time, if you say the reason why you need 2 is because of chashad, chashad derabanan, who you chashad for? Chashad alma. If it's chashad of the people in the street, right? Then even in one direction you're going to need, because who says, how do they know what's going on inside the house? Meaning everything. Okay, it sounds like from this going that any gate that you have to put a menorah. And if it's even I'm sorry. If it's for people in the town, everybody, meaning if it's the people that are in the town, maybe if it's a traveler, the alma means somebody stam that doesn't live in town. So he sees a doorway, no menorah, he thinks, hey, look at this guy doesn't light, right? But if it's somebody from the town that we're chashad, then why do you need it in 2 directions? Everybody knows this is his house, right? They see it on one side of his house, then they know he lit the menorah, right? So really it's chashad because of the people in the city. Because sometimes they'll walk on this street and they don't walk on the other street. So then how do they know that he lit his menorah? And they're going to think. Now this to me is a stretch, Simon. This part I'm with you on this. What's the chashad? That we're going to think that just like he didn't light in this doorway, he also didn't light in this doorway, right? What does that mean? I mean, aren't we supposed to be dani l'kaf schus? I mean, if I was walking by a guy's house who lived on a corner house and I didn't see a candle lit in one window, I said, I'm going to say to myself, oh yeah, he probably lit in the other window on the other street. I'm not going to think, oh, he doesn't light menorah just like he didn't light on this side, he didn't light on this side. What happened to us being dan l'kaf schus? Meaning the Gemara is saying the chashad is that we have to be chashad that the whole Klal Yisrael is going to be chashad b'ksherim.
Wow, you really are dan l'kaf schus.
Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. I don't know.
There's more cheskes kashrus by keeping kosher, going to someone's house and and trusting that they keep kosher, than someone visiting your town to make sure that you're lighting Chanukah menorah. That sounds bizarre.
Well, no, maybe because it's very simple. Like you get a big mitzvah for Persumei Nisa, all you got to do is light a candle. What's the big deal?
I understand, but when you walk by a guy's big house on one side of his street and you don't see a menorah lit, what is your initial reaction?
West Florida.
No, that it's probably here.
That he's in the Hamptons.
Phoenix, yeah.
That he's in the Hamptons.
Right?
Can he light somewhere else?
Maybe Taka, that's what it is.
Can he light somewhere else?
I don't know. It seems to me, meaning, no, I have no problem.
What if you're like common, you go to Uman?
There you go. But I'm saying, what happens? I'm saying we're making you light menorah in both doorways, right? Because a guy might walk only on one side of your house, not on the other side,
and not someone from your town either.
Well, we're saying even a guy from the town was saying that. But yeah, either one. So the guy's only going to walk on one side of your house, see that you didn't light the menorah, is going to think, okay, just like he didn't light on this side, he didn't light on the other side, and therefore we got to light menorahs all over the place, right? It's just a stretch. No, that just goes to Simon. It just goes to show for some reason in Chanukah, like Rabban Horowitz was saying, that for some reason in Chanukah, that they were very chashad for chashad. They went to great lengths to make sure there was no chashad whatsoever. But then the problem is that the Gemara brings from other places that there's such a thing as chashad. Let's see, we're not tamer the chashin.
It seems that this is where frumkeit came from, though, not like the Yiddishkeit, but like that frumkeit, where like everyone.
Now you're already talking deep hashkafa, Simon.
But that's what I'm saying. Again.
No, but Simon, it's for sure not. Like everything else.
Didn't say Hanukkah was the time.
This is nothing. It's just a candle.
Yeah, but you're so concerned about what other people are thinking. Hell, put it in 2 doorways. When you have 4 doorways, you better be Avram Avinu and just cover your entire bias. It's bizarre.
Simon,
that's New York for a while.
What they do.
Yeah, he's been out of New York for a while. He's
gone. It's gone. You see it? Goodbye.
Fair enough.
Simon, it's a good thing no one will see you take off your yarmulke. You're in quarantine.
Simon, I don't want people to think otherwise because they're looking at me and what I do every day, all day.
Simon, when you burn your house down on Hanukkah, we'll know why.
No one will know. No one will know. The cows in the corn will know.
Just light the whole house.
Yeah. Okay. And Simon, you have a good kasha. What should I tell you? The kasha would be better than any teretz. Fine. And we're not tamra the chashina and the chashad. How do you know that we're chayshid for chashad? There's 4 reasons why you should take payah. Payah is like when you what do you call, not farm, when you gather, when you cut your grain, harvest. Thank you, Gershon. When you harvest your field, so you got to leave payah dafka in a corner, right? Why? So there's 4 reasons why. Okay. Again, you have to put pay in the corner of your field. Because of stealing from aniyim, because of the nullifying the aniyim, chashad, and because of chashad, you should not use it up. Now the Gemara is going to go through what they are. So why do you have to keep it in the corner of the field? Because it's stealing from aniyim. Meaning you're gonna have a wise guy who, instead of keeping pay in this corner of his field, he's gonna be in the middle of reaping his what did you say, Lashon? What was the Lashon, Yashin? Harvesting. And then in the middle of the day he's gonna say, you know what? I'm not doing pay from the corner, I'm gonna do pay right here in the middle of the field. And he calls up his cousin, the ani, and says, come quick and take all my pay. Right? So he's scamming all the other aniyim. So that's one chashash, right? So that's why it's gezel aniyim. That's why we want it dafka in the corner of the field. Umifnei bitul aniyim, and because of wasting time for the aniyim, meaning shalayu aniyim yoshvin u'mashaman achshav meniach balabayas peya. Because otherwise, if you don't leave it in the corner, meaning if the aniyim know that it's going to be in the corner, so they'll wait around by the corner until the balabayas finish harvesting, and then they'll go into the field. But if they have no idea which corner, or if he's doing a corner, then they have to stand there all day to try and figure out which one it is. That's 2. If he doesn't leave it in the corner, then the people walking by the field are not going to see his payah, and they're going to say, oh, this guy doesn't take payah, and they're going to curse him. So from right there, we see a proof that we are concerned for chashad. Then also because you should not, and Rashi says right, that it has to be at the end before you use up all your grain. That's when you're supposed to leave payah. So aren't all of these 3 reasons, the 3 additional reasons, because of basachala, we're afraid that you're not going to leave payah properly? So no, it's because of the people that are liars, which they're going to say, if you don't make them do the corner of the field, they're going to say, oh, no, we already left the corner. We already left payah someplace else, and then they're going to scam you. So therefore, we say that you have to, we have all 3, well, really all 4 reasons. So therefore, we see that there is something called chashad, and therefore we apply that to Chanukah too. Now, why we apply that sometimes to more mitzvahs than others, that already I'm not sure. If you have a candle that has 2 wicks to it, right? 2 people can do this, right? This is the classic yeshiva bacher way to be cheap.
A yaknahas candle?
Well, you could do it theoretically, a yaknahas candle, but yeah, you get, you guys are too cheap to buy 2 menorahs, so they take one big glass and they float 2 wicks in there, and each one goes for each one, right? Yeah, you can see that. That's right, right? Amar Rava, Mila Ka'ara. Am I working now? 1 second. Did something go wrong? You there?
Yeah, what'd you do?
Yes, you're there.
I didn't do anything.
Somebody decided to share a screen.
Oh, Amar Rava, Mila Ka'ara.
You didn't show us anything.
What? Amar Rava, Mila Ka'ara Shemen. If you fill up a plate with oil, Vekifa Psilas, and you surround it with, meaning you float a bunch of wicks in one plate, Kaf of Kli, if you put a kli on top of it, meaning you cover it, then it can work for many people. But if you don't put a kli on top of it, meaning a cover, chachamim then all it looks like is a torch, and then it's not even going to work for one person. because it's just a torch, and we know that you're not allowed to light the Chanukah menorah with a torch, right? So therefore, you got to make sure you keep it uncovered. Amar Rava Pshitali. Ner Beisai, Ner Chanukah, Ner Beisai Odif. If you have lights in, let's say you only have enough money for lights in your house or lights for the menorah. So Ner Beisai Odif, it's better to have lights in your house so that you have Shalom Bayis. Mishum Shalom Bayis because Shalom Bayis. Now Shalom Bayis here doesn't mean Shalom Bayis like in the marriage sense. It means that if you have no light in your house because you want to do a mitzvah, and you took all the money for the mitzvah and your house is non-functioning, so then it's more important that you have a functioning house than to do the mitzvah. Ner Beisai v'kiddush hayoim, but let's say you have...
Ner Beisai means lights in your house or Shabbos candles?
No, really just means lights in your house, right? But it's talking about for Shabbos, but that's what Shabbos candles are for. For Shabbos candles are not Shabbos candles to make sure your house is lit up so that you have a peaceful house on Shabbos. Right? It's one and the same. Ner Beisai v'kiddush hayoim. Let's say you have Ner Beisai and Kiddush. So then Ner Beisai Adam Mishum Shalom Beisai. So the candles go before the wine because you need Ner Beisai's Adif, right? That's for wine, right? Yeah. I think, but if you wouldn't have wine, then meaning that's because the assumption is you're going to use the challah to make the hamaitzion, right? But if you wouldn't have challah or wine, then I think kiddush comes first. Isn't that what we say? I didn't look it up. Okay, I'll have to Belina to look it up. Yeah, fine. So again, shalom bayis comes first. Boy, Rabbi, ner chanukah kiddush ayay mao. What about ner chanukah kiddush ayay? Meaning you have enough for the lights. And you have, then the question is, should you light a menorah or should you make kiddush? Mao, kiddush ayam other the tadir. Do you say kiddush comes first because it's tadir, because you have kiddush every week? Or does ner chanukah come first because it's the publicized? After he asked the question, he answered it, ner chanukah is more important than doing other mitzvahs, which we know, that's why you got to sell the shirt off your back in order to light Chanukah, even though you're not mechuyev to spend more than a fifth of your money to do any sort of mitzvah, but for Pesumei Nisa, you have to. That, by the way, is also for Dalit Koisa, since it's the week before Pesach. That's also Pesumei Nisa, and therefore you got to sell the shirt off your back with Dalit Koisa, even though you don't have to sell the shirt off your back for matzah, because Pesumei Nisa comes first.
What made him come to this conclusion?
What made him come to this conclusion? I don't know. He doesn't say how. What?
No, there's no riots anyway. All of a sudden, the child doesn't change. Nothing happens. Just decide.
Right. No, and Chanami, you're right. I don't know. There's something must have been. You'd think there would be a proof about pursuing Nisa being so important, but there isn't. Yeah, that's a fair point. But then what the Paiskim ask is, so what are we saying? So let's say, do you sell the shirt off your back to light Shabbos candles? The answer is no, because it's not Pesumei Nisa, right? But yet the Gemara is saying that you're supposed to sell the shirt. The Gemara is not saying it here.
Meir, we can't hear you.
What? Can you hear me?
Parrots. We hear fine.
I hear him.
I hear him perfectly. I hear him also perfectly.
Parrots, you gotta. I don't know. Parrots, say some Tillim, Parrots.
Yeah.
Maybe it's all that barbecue that got to your ears.
I don't know. Maybe losing your hearing is another.
He just told me I'm unstable, and I'm like, huh.
Yeah. Anyways, so no, the question.
And it has nothing to do with the corona.
So I don't know. No, the question is, they ask. So if you're supposed to. If your Nerev you buy, leave it. If your Nerev you buy comes first, right? So that means comes out that you do have to take the shirt off your back in order to light Shabbos candles, which we know is not the halacha, right? It's only a special halacha for Pesumei Nisa. Okay, fine. Amar Avuna, Haraga Bener, right? Very important Gemara here. Haraga Bener, if somebody who's rugged with candles, Havi Lebanon talmidei chachamim, will have talmidei chachamim, right? So there's a Rashi here. Yeah, so look at the Rashi. Or don't look at it, just listen. Dichsiv ki ner mitzvah v'Torah or Haydeiner mitzvah the Shabbos for Chanukah ba'ar the Torah. Through the two lights of Shabbos and of Chanukah comes the or of Torah. So women have the job of lighting candles properly on Shabbos, and the men have to deal with it for 8 days a year, right? Which is why one should be careful to light the menorah properly at proper time and do it properly. Yeah? Hazar b'mezuzah, zaychel l'dira na. If you're careful with mezuzah, then you'll be zaychel to a nice house. Hazar b'tzitzis, if you're careful with tzitzis, zaychel l'talis na, then you'll get nice clothing. Hazar b'kiddush hayom, zaychel m'malagar b'yayin. If you're careful with kiddush hayom, then you're going to end up with a lot of barrels of wine, which is, I guess, why everybody's so makbid to have many kiddushin, right? So then you get a lot of barrels. Yeah.
Oh, shout out to Yossi.
There you go. I think you just left.
Hello, he's here. He's back.
Okay. Rav Huna have a rogil to have a cholov b'tanya pischa the Rabbi Avin Nagra. So Rav Huna, he was used to going past the doorway of Rav Avin Nagra. He was the carpenter. Chazad have a rogil b'shar Ketuva. He saw that he used to light a lot of candles, right? Amar Trey Gabri Rabri Nafke Mehocha. He said there's going to be two big people that are coming out of this house. Nafke Menai Rav Idi Baravin, Rav Chia Baravin. Right? So Rav Idi Baravin and Rav Chia Baravin came out from his house because they were careful with candles. Yeah. Rav Chista have a rogel to have a challah b'tanya pischa de beinasa. The Rav Shizvi. He would pass by the this chalukei deis. What bein son means is it the father or the in-laws of Rav Shizvi. Chazad have a rogel b'shar getuva, and he saw that they were very careful with candles, or they had a lot of candles. Amar Gabra Rabba Nafik Mehocha, and the great man will come out from here. Nafik Minai Rav Shizvi came out from there. Rav Shizvi. Tevisu the Rav Yosef's wife Havas Ma'achar Madlekasla. She would push off lighting candles till the latest possible. Amar Rav Yosef Tanya lo Yamash Amar on Yom Yom v'Amar Eish Laila. The Amud, this is called the Anania Coven, right? This is what it's referring to. So it wouldn't stop. The day wouldn't go till the night, and the night wouldn't go till the day, meaning they didn't overlap.
Yaakov, this is a raya against early Shabbos.
True. Yeah. Fair point. Teaches you that Amud Aish went complete until the Amud Anon and vice versa. So Savrlak Dume. So then she thought, okay, so she'll light a little early. No, you shouldn't make it too early, and you shouldn't make it too late, right? Because if you light too early, then it's not recognizable that you're lighting the candles for Shabbos. Obviously, you light it too late, then it's already Shabbos, right?
Yeah, on the flip side, Aaron, though, higher on the Amud, we see that Shabbos going ahead and having light in the house goes ahead and brings Shalom to the house, so you have a Seder. So that's a riot to make early Shabbos.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
How much time is too early? How much time is too late?
Oh, very good question. Very good question. Too late is sunset. Too early is what we call Plaga Mincha, which is about an hour and a half before sunset. An hour and a half adjusted for the length of the day. So nowadays the days are about exactly 12 hours. So now it's exactly about an hour and a half before sunset. In the summer, it's about an hour and 45 minutes before sunset. And in the winter, it's about an hour and 10 minutes before sunset. That's the earliest time. Okay? If somebody lights before that time, they have to relight the candles.
Is there any heter to daven plug today?
I don't see a heter. Why?
I thought about it. I just thought about it.
Yeah, not that I know of. Although I am thinking that you should daven before plag, mincha. Why should you get into a machlokes every day if you daven b'yechidus? I mean, if you daven with a minyan later for shkia, okay, so you want to go not like Rabbi Yehuda. But why should I go against Rabbi Yehuda if I'm davening b'yechidus anyways? But I have no idea if there's any validity to that. Okay, Amar Rava, the Racham Rabbanon.
So what's the best time to daven mincha?
Naftali, you weren't supposed to listen to that statement.
What? You're not supposed to daven 1:30 either, right? 1:45.
What?
That's too early. 1:45, 2 o'clock.
I didn't say 1:45. I was saying to daven finish mincha by 5:45. I don't do it, so I'm just saying that. But that's what I was thinking. Amar Rava, the Racham Rabbanon Havli Benin Rabbanon. If somebody who has Rachmanis or right on Rabbanon, then he's going to have sons that are Rabbanon. The Micah Rabbanon, if you show Chashivas, to Rabbanan, then you're going to have chasvanas to Rabbanan. You're going to have sons-in-law that are Rabbanan. The dachamim Rabbanan, if you're scared, hu gufei havitzor Rabbanan, you yourself will be a talmid chacham. V'ilav bar hachihu mashmais and milsik itzor Rabbanan. Let's say you're not somebody who is fitting to be a talmid chacham, then people are going to listen to what you have to say as if you were a talmid chacham, right? So meaning, you should have chashivas to Rabbanan, and then you're going to have, it'll be a good thing for you. Yeah? Okay, I guess we'll stop over here. All right? Oh, it was long. Okay. Sorry if it took a little long, but we had a lot of good discussion tonight. Have yourselves a good night. Stay safe. And
Yaakov.
Yes.
Yaakov, that blackthorn gum, the berries of it make gin.
They make gin from that?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Like called slow gin, yeah.
Yummy.
So I figured that this island would like that reference.
Interesting.
L'chaim
Thank
tov
you.
shalom.
L'chaim to everybody.
Rabbi,
good news.
Amazing.
Rabbi.
Yes.
The Kiddush thing that you were saying, it says on the, I looked in the note, even the Kiddush is the right, it says you say it in Shem Nesrei, that takes care of the deraisa.
Right. Means
that's why. Right.
I mean, not with the challah. I mean, not with the challah. What I said.
It brought down that you have challah, also the deraisa, but then since you say that if you don't have either, you do the Shem Nesrei, it takes care of the deraisa.
I hear. Okay, good. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yes, thank you.
Yes, sir. Stein, looks like we're home for Pesach.
Oh, I feel for you.
Jesse, you and everybody
I
else.
don't feel for you. It'll be nice. Bez Hashem. It'll be nice.
It'll be great. It'll just be different.
You'll have a lot of stress till then, though. Try not to make it stressful.
That's what the bourbon's for.
Yaakov,
He drinks?
Yaakov, did you notice my mice was very, very intent on the daf tonight?
I wasn't noticing, no.
Right when we started the daf, that's when Rachi decided she's cooking in the Pesach kitchen. He needed all the stuff being brought down, and Moshe's like, doing the daf. Shmuel and Simcha, I have to do it. He's like, look how long this daf is. I'm so happy.
It's just like that big meme going around now. They're like, all the husbands are getting payback for that. I'll do that one day. Don't worry about it.
Not as perfect as us, but they deserve.
All right, I'm jumping on another call now. So
Yaakov, you have a minute?
Not right now. I'm going to try soon, like a half hour.
All right, thank you.
Lila Tova.